education and equality in the United States. A class at Fort Myer Elementary School in 1955, kids of all races could be in the same class. Before 1954, some U.S. states were allowed to keep black and white children in separate schools. Everyone should have a chance to go to a good school. That has been a powerful idea in the United States for a long time. This belief led to public schools. Students can attend these schools at no cost. Public schools are paid for by taxes. Many Americans have believed it is important to have well-educated citizens. Americans have not always believed education was so important. More than 100 years ago, many children didn't go to school. They had to work instead. They worked on farms or in factories. Society changed, though. More jobs needed people who could read and do math. Most families realized their children would have a better life if they went to school. In the 1950s, education in the United States faced another change. African Americans and other groups wanted better opportunities for their children. Usually, white students had better schools. In many places, black students received a poor education. White and black kids were not allowed to go to school together. This policy was called segregation. Some states changed their policies. New laws told schools to end segregation. All students were to have the chance to go to a good school. Everyone deserved to be treated fairly. These new laws made many people upset. They did not want to change. These changes made their schools worse, they said. Some schools, though, did their best to adjust. They added new classes. For example, some schools studied African American history. Students read books by black writers. Many schools taught English classes for students who were learning English as their second language. These classes helped children who had come from other countries. More girls and women also asked for an equal education. They wanted to study more about women. They wanted to read women writers. Mostly men went to college in those days. More women wanted similar opportunities to learn and pursue the same careers as men. Some people had also pushed for more open schools. They said kids should be allowed to be more creative in class and standardized testing shouldn't be so important. But some people were against this. They wanted more traditional schools and a back to basics approach to learning. They said open schools would hurt education. Student test scores dropped in the years that followed. Lawmakers suggested new reforms or corrections. Many said better test scores were what mattered most. Equality in education was not seen as important. New laws told districts to test students more often. Classes stressed math, science, and English. New basics were added. These new classes included computers. The internet became an important new tool. Education reforms and technology are affecting how and what students learn. Will they help them get a better education? That remains to be seen.